to another episode of Backpack Bushcraft. We are still working with cotton material as discussed last week. And something I brought up a lot last week but I didn't really get a chance to talk about was the different things that your cotton material can do for you in your camp. Now, real quick, when working with any of these items, one of the things you want to make sure it can do is protect your body from the elements. Whether that be to use it to protect your neck from being sunburned, whether that is to protect your face from possible dust or winter weather, wind chill, anything like that to protect your face, or even to be used to pull your hat back and use as a bandana. Either way, these have their uses. As you can see with the typical bandana, I get that done very easily. But now let's try to see how well that works using the flour sack towel. So first thing we want to do is we want to get that triangle. As you see, I don't have the triangle. So using it as a mask works pretty well. This would definitely keep the weather off of me and away from me. And if it was extra cold, I could actually fold the fabric over and really bring it in. So that's good. Using it as a bandana, no problem there either. Where it's light color like this, it'd actually be easier on my head. It wouldn't be drawing heat. So that's good. And then, of course, lastly, pretty close. We'll go ahead and put that around us. When we do the same thing with the larger item, we run into the problem of it just being, well, honestly, it's just too big. To use it as a mask, you'd have to not only just fold it the one time, but we'd probably have to fold it a second time to get something manageable. And still, even when we do that, it's still quite big. And I ain't even going to worry about putting it on my head. So in that respect, it's just too big. Now the next thing I like to do is to use them to clean with. This is just an old tray. And I'm not even going to worry about using soap or nothing. I just have a little bit of water here. And we're just going to dip the bandana. It absorbs the water fairly well, but it does not do the best job. And with just a little elbow grease, you can notice right here, this spot, it's been cleaned away. Using the flour sack towel, we'll do the same thing. However, this absorbs the water a lot better, more or less what it's meant for. We'll try to take out this far side here so that you can see the difference. It still does a fine job in my opinion. As you can see, there's just the middle section left, and we will, of course, use that for the last one. The other thing I want to show you is this does sort of get pretty nasty and dirty, whereas this one just got a little dirty. Now, with the big piece, again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just dip it in water just a little bit. Again, it sort of absorbs the water, but mostly it still wants to drip off. And it works just as well as the other one. The only difference is I have more drying space or more places that I can continue to get wet. Basically, this much was used. This one, this much was used, and this much was used. So I'm pretty much losing majority of this when I was working with it. But at the same time, if you don't mind the color being discolored, it'll be okay. And overall, they all cleaned fairly well like you would expect. Now the next, and I would say final thing I'm looking for in one of these is going to be, can it work as a sling? Now I'll go ahead and tell you that the smaller bandana can, but you have to be careful how you do it. The best way is to tie one, place your arm in, take another bandana, place the new bandana through the first bandana. There you go. And then place your arm in. Now, as for adjusting, it's going to be a little tricky. Probably adjusting, you would have to literally adjust by adjusting the neck bandana, maybe repositioning it and stuff like that. But, you know, it will work in a pinch, but it is going to require 2 bandanas because they're too small to do it together in one. Let's try the larger bandana and see what we get. Now, with this great big large one, the best way I think to tie it would be to tie a open loop in one end, like this, something that will self-tighten as you pull on it. Place the other end through it, and then place your arm in it and your head around it. Get it to where you want it to be at. Adjust using this to pull. And then once you're at a spot you're good at, just come in here and sort of tie it off. There you go. Pretty easy sleeve, probably really the easiest to work with because you have so much material. And you don't have to worry about doing 2 or 3 different knots one setup. Plus, this is probably the best and easiest to adjust. But we've talked about how bulky and stuff this is, so I'm really curious about seeing how well the flour sack towel will do. Now, with this one, I'm going to have to do it like I did the first ones because I just don't have the same amount of material as I do with the larger bandanas. So, I'm just going to tie a simple knot in. Get my arm in. Test the knot. Sure they could give on me. And bring that around. It works fairly well. So it's a little tight on the neck, not the end of the world. But this does work. It is one piece, so I don't have to have multiple pieces. And the LNL size, I can't really adjust it. So it's like I said, it is the good in between compared to the larger 3 foot by 3 foot bandana and these 2 smaller bandanas. I do think this is a pretty good idea. I'm really growing fond of these flour sack towels, especially with experiments like this. Now guys, there are countless other ways you can use these cloths. I just showed you 3 very simple and probably more common aspects of it. You could also use it to carry stuff. You could use it as spare patching material for sewing. Really, there's just countless other ways you can apply it. So if you don't mind in the comments, leave me some of your favorite ways to use your cotton material, or tell me if you do or don't carry cotton, anything like that, leave it below in the comments. Next week we'll still be working with cotton, but we'll see how well it can help us in purifying or treating our water. I'm sure a lot of you out there already know what I'm going to be doing, but for those of you who don't, and for those of you who don't want to miss it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, Backpack Bushcraft. If you want to, you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail at Backpack Bushcraft. You can also check out the website where I post content on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 p.m. EST. That website is www.backpackbushcraft.com. And until next time, guys, keep those fires burning and put another log on for me.